remind everyone, those of you that are going to be doing social networking along the way, would you please remind friends and followers and families that if they're not in the greater St. Louis area, they can tune in to SBCannualmeeting.net and let them know that they can stream live this gathering today. A quick second thing before we move forward, I want to urge you to encourage those that are up here. I want you to really encourage them when they come, when they go back to their chair, and while they're speaking. And today what we're going to do now is enter into a time of honoring America and bringing recognition to our veterans. It is my privilege this morning to recognize the men and the women who have proudly and honorably served our country as a member of the armed forces. Over the past 241 years since the first shots were fired at Lexington and Concord to mark the beginning of the Revolutionary War, Americans have faithfully stepped up to answer the nation's call to duty, both in times of peace and times of conflict. From the soldiers who survived the brutal winter at Valley Forge, to Americans in blue and gray whose blood at Antietam and Gettysburg finally united a divided nation, to the doughboys crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the brave men who stormed the beaches of Normandy and Iwo Jima, to our heroic troops who patrolled the hot jungles of Vietnam, and to our military forces engaged in combat today in Iraq and Afghanistan, we remember, honor, and pray for them all. We also today honor the families of those who have served in the military, especially those whose loved one paid the supreme price of devotion to duty. Historically, Southern Baptists have supported the military with our people and our prayers. Additionally, we have commissioned pastors as military chaplains to ensure a faithful gospel presence to our men and women in the armed forces. This marks the 75th anniversary of the Southern Baptist Convention's ministry of endorsing chaplains for the military. I have asked General Doug Carver, retired U.S. Army chaplain and executive director of the chaplaincy for the North American Mission Board, to share a few comments on this historic occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, would you honor and give thanks to General Carver?
Thank you. Thank you. Please. 75 years ago, in the summer of 1941, the world was on the verge of another global war. Thousands of newly drafted recruits began to fill our military bases around the nation. Messengers at the 1941 Southern Baptist Convention in Birmingham, Alabama, firmly agreed that there was no greater soul-winning opportunity facing Southern Baptists than the thousands of young men pouring into the military training camps around the country. In June of 1941, the Home Mission Board commissioned the first Chaplains Commission to select qualified Southern Baptist pastors as chaplains, military chaplains, and they appointed Reverend Alfred Carpenter, pastor of First Baptist Blytheville, Arkansas, to lead the effort. Carpenter believed that every chaplain was a missionary in uniform, an evangelist at large, called to share the gospel where few missionaries could go. Southern Baptist chaplains achieved great success during World War II. From 1941 to 1945, Southern Baptist chaplains recorded 299,342 professions of faith, accounting for 82% of the professions of faith reported by the Home Mission Board for the same period of time. Today, 75 years later, Southern Baptist chaplains continue to carry the gospel into places where the church cannot go. They serve in our armed forces, in correctional facilities, in healthcare settings, in the public safety arena, at disaster relief sites. We have chaplains on watch with first responders in hospitals in Orlando even this moment. We also have chaplains in our corporate environments. Southern Baptists have much to be thankful for with the caliber of men and women called by the Lord Jesus Christ to the chaplaincy ministry. Truly a frontline ministry that is vital to the extension of the local church and the advancement of the gospel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have chaplains that are behind me, and I would ask all endorsed chaplains out in the audience if you would stand and let us show them our appreciation for their ministry.
We want to thank all of you for your service to the Lord and your service to the United States of America. Every 3 minutes, a memory of World War II disappears from American culture as the men and women, mostly in their 90s, who fought and won that great conflict pass into eternity. We must take every opportunity to honor our veterans of the greatest generation while they are still among us, and thank them for their sacrifice and service to our great nation. This year, on December the 7th, the United States will commemorate the 75th anniversary of the surprise attack on our forces at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, by the Imperial Japanese Navy. That attack killed 2,403 Americans and wounded 1,178 others, and was the direct cause of our nation entering into World War II. It was, according to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a date which will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor is a constant reminder that our freedom, purchased by the blood of American patriots, should never be taken for granted. May we forever be grateful to God for our citizenship in a land where the sunlight of liberty shines from shore to shore. And may we forever give thanks to those who have laid down their life for freedom's cause. And may we always remember and honor those who fought, died, and survived the attack on Pearl Harbor. We owe a priceless debt to the men and women who gave their full measure of devotion to duty on December the 7th, 1941, as well as throughout all wars. And may the passing of time never dim the glory of their deeds and the legacy they left behind. Today, we're extremely honored to have with us Mr. Bill McEnany, a native of Wood River, Illinois. Mr. McEnany is one of the 2,000 remaining Pearl Harbor veterans who witnessed firsthand the attacks on December the 7th. Bill joined the Navy in 1938, and after basic training received advanced training as a hospital corpsman. He was assigned aboard the USS Solace, a 400-bed hospital ship that arrived in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii on October 27, 1941, where it would remain until the fateful events that unfolded on December the 7th, 1941. That day, Bill and some of his friends were enjoying a beautiful Sunday morning when the first wave of attacks began. They quickly worked their way to Ford Island, which was hit in the attacks, and turned the camp dispensary into a hospital. For the next 2 days, they provided emergency medical care to the injured and dying until they were finally relieved of their duties and were able to return to their ship. Bill and the crew of the USS Solace continued to recover human remains out of the oil-stained water until their departure from Pearl Harbor 3 months later. The attack on Pearl Harbor changed Bill's view on life forever. And after seeing a countless number of critically wounded troops fighting for their breath just to stay alive, he learned the value of a human life. To quote Bill from a recent interview, and I quote, "You quickly realize that life is a gift not meant to be wasted." Bill has been back to Hawaii since the attack on Pearl Harbor, and listen to this. He has already booked a trip with his wife, Linda, to take the 75th Remembrance Ceremony of Pearl Harbor in December. The two of them, Bill and Linda, will also be there to celebrate Bill's 95th birthday and the couple's 45th wedding anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, you have an awesome privilege today to honor one of the 2,000 Pearl Harbor survivors. Would you thank Bill McInerney and his wife, Linda? Be seated. Southern Baptists love our military. Now, we're not sure if we have any other Pearl Harbor veterans attending today, but if by chance you just were like hanging out in St. Louis, or you heard the word that we may honor you, would you please stand somewhere in the auditorium, or you perhaps maybe on the stage? Well, we just want you to know when you meet a Pearl Harbor veteran, that's only one of 2,000. And Bill, you have made today already a special day. I would like to ask today if the veterans who served during World War II are present today, and I know we have several. I would like for you to please stand and remain standing, all World War II veterans. Would you remain standing, please? And now, if you are a veteran of any branch of military service or serving in the military now, would you please stand all throughout the auditorium today? Thank all of you. And at this time, I would like to ask this question. All of you veterans that are standing or should be standing, I want your help. I want you to leave where you are, and I want you to walk this way, and I want you to help lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag and the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome all of the veterans that are here today who have served our great nation. What a crew. Thank all of you. That's an amazing story right here, ladies and gentlemen. We never need to take for granted those who serve our nation. And as the remaining of these men or women are making their way to the front today, I want you to remain standing, if you would, please, all of you. The entire auditorium needs to be standing. We are going to give a pledge of allegiance, and we've asked Lieutenant Colonel James Blount, Deputy United States Army Garrison, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you would, please, I would like for you to remain standing once we have finished the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, to join us in the singing of the national anthem. Thank you. Chaplain, would you please lead us now?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, and thank you, veterans, for joining us. You may now return to your chair. Would you remain standing for worship today? Worship is led by Pastor Julio Arreola, who is our worship